Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to put the ROV in a deep pool below a structure called the Auld Ha, situated in the River Ayr. Now it was said to have been built in the 1100s as a defensive structure and was visited by Mary Queen of Scots and John Knox. Parts of the wall still remain, as you can see. And just beyond the wall there you can see the river and the pool that we're going to be putting the ROV into. As I said, this structure is situated in the River Ayr, just outside the town of Ayr. And it stands on a part of bedrock jutting out into the river itself. You can see it on the right hand side just behind those trees there. Typical of most Ayrshire rivers, it runs very peaty in colour. But on the day we took the air drone up, it was just too much sediment in the water. The structure itself is behind those trees, and the deep pool is just off to the right hand side. It's said the pool itself is 16 metres deep, or 33 feet deep in places. As you can see by the colour of the water, it was impossible to get the ROV in that day. Now as the drone starts rising, you'll see the slack water where the deep pool is and the upwelling of the water. And there on the right hand side of the pool, where the slack water is, that's supposedly the deepest part of the pool. It's 16 metres deep. Clearly a vital part of the structure's defences. Now here I am walking through the woods towards the actual structure itself, and there is still some stonework remaining. As I said, it was supposed to have been built in the 1100s, and the fact that there's still stonework remaining is just amazing. This side of wall is the only part still visible. There are no other sections of the wall visible. And down there is where I plan on launching the ROV. Not the easiest place to get to. Added to that, the water still looks very coloured today and full of sediment. However, we'll get the ROV in and have a quick look about. I'm not expecting to see anything or the visibility to be too good, but just an initial try to see how deep the pool is. You can always come back at a later date when the water's clearer and have a better look around. You certainly don't want to fall in here, the water just drops immediately into 3-4 metres deep. Now everything's all connected up, so it's just a matter of sailing towards the deeper water. And as I said, We're only down 7 metres just now. The water's very discoloured and there's a lot of sediment still there. Very difficult conditions to spot anything. I've kept the claw on today just to protect the camera lens. As I said, I'm not expecting to see too much today. Visibility was down to about 10 inches. And I've started using this technique of planting the ROV in the sediment and using the thrusters to clear away as much of the silt as possible. It can be effective. But as you can see here, visibility is absolutely terrible. And there's a lump of bedrock. Now we're only down to 3 metres just now. Very undulating in the stream bed. Now I have the ROV lights on just to help. If I was to switch the lights off, it would be total darkness. A small bit of pottery there, but nothing old. Now here's an interesting object here. It looks like a worked bit of stone. I've no idea how old. It's definitely man-made. And here I've come across a fallen tree. Now I want to keep away from these as much as possible. I don't want to get tangled up in the branches. Now further in here we are at 6 metres. Again, visibility ridiculously bad. A lot of sediment. I think this is definitely going to be worth coming back to when the water clears up. The water level itself is still quite high just now. And we are just over 8 metres. Quite a depth for a river pool in Ayrshire. Again, a lot of loose gravel here, nothing significant to see. I'd be quite hopeful that once the water clears up there will be artefacts to be seen. And given the depth of this pool, I think whatever falls in there or has been thrown in there, there'll be very little chance of it coming out. There is, however, a lot of loose gravel. Definitely not ideal diving conditions here. If anybody thinks they see something here, please drop me a comment. Quite often I only spot artefacts or items when I've come back home and I'm looking at them or reviewing the footage on the computer. Sometimes it can be very difficult out in the field to spot anything. Again, sitting just over 8.5 metres here and moving up into about 9 metres depth. There's a lot of the pool still to explore, but I certainly didn't see 16 metres anywhere. Here we are at 9 metres now. Again, if I was to turn the lights off here, it'd be absolute pitch darkness. There is a lot of bedrock visible in the pool. further round. But towards the centre of the pool there's certainly gravel, boulders and rubble. Well, hopefully the next time we go and visit this site, it'll be a bit easier to see whatever's down there. Today's dive was just an exploratory dive to see what the conditions were like, but there's definitely potential for the pool, without a doubt. And that's it bye for today, so thank you very much for watching, and keep your eye open for another video coming out soon. Thank you.